Are we good to go, ladies and gentlemen? It appears that we are. Streaming is fine. Just fed Jet, so I don't need to worry about that midstream. Had to feed him just a tad bit early in order to get this on time. But let's go ahead and get this started. So, yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another solo leveling reaction. Chapter 150. I can't believe I've been through 150 chapters of solo leveling for you guys. It's been a great series, and I'm glad that I'm able to share this moment with you. Just to say, Ashura does have the chapters up. Welcome, Kohagen, and well, I can't say the last half of your name. I mean, that one right there. I can't say the last half of that because, you know, I don't use profanity, but welcome as well. Kohagen, it is up on Ashura Scans right now. I got a separate window up, so let's go ahead and get it started. I got it full screened here, so I'm going to keep my synopsis short of the last chapter, but it pretty much ended with Go-Gun-Hee in his office. Then everything went dark as he sits in a dark room adjacent from the dark elf, snow elf Monarch, just glaring and grinning at him. So let's just go and get, that's where the last chapter left off. So let's go ahead and get started with this chapter and get into it. Go-Gun-Hee is looking, and it shows like a recap image of Go-Gun-Hee, eyes glowing, looking at this Monarch. Chapter 150, and Go-Gun-Hee is slightly glowing. His eyes are glowing the same as Andre's. I've noticed that his eyes and glow and aura around him. So could he have a power of the ruler as well? I'm just shooting that out there. Do not answer that question if you know. Please don't answer that question. And I'm saying this not only for people who are live, but people who watch the video afterwards and feel the need to post it in the comments. Don't. But here we have Go-Gun-Hee looking at the man, and he's thinking, I wonder if I could have a proper conversation with him. And then he's looking at him. The Monarch's just staring back at him, grinning. I couldn't sense him when he arrived. He's not someone I can take on my own. And then the Monarch forms some ice in his hands, and he says, This place has already been isolated from the outside world. So so this Monarch has isolated himself and Go-Gun-Hee from everyone else. He just shifted both himself and Go-Gun-Hee into another plane right now. This place has already been isolated from the outside world. And Go-Gun-Hee thinks, am I dreaming right now? And then all of a sudden, he's cut across his left shoulder. I'm guessing from the little ice shard that the snow elf just formed in his hands. He's not only cut across the shoulder, but ice starts to sprout from the wound. If this was a dream, do you think you could feel that? I guess this isn't a dream then. So I will ask you once more, who are you? I was hoping you would recognize me without me having to tell you, but looks like you are a mere human after all. A mere human? I don't have any interest in playing around with weaklings. Reveal yourself, fragment of luminosity. And as the snow monarch says this, elf monarch says this, he just erupts the room in nothing but power and ice all through here. Reveal yourself, fragment of luminosity. Is he saying that Go-Gun-Hee has a power of a ruler in him? Because that's what I'm getting the reference to. Once again, rhetorical question, don't answer. Perhaps you're worried your medium will break if you do. It's bound to break sooner or later, no matter what you do. And if you're really worried about something like that, then this conversation is pointless. And he forms an ice ball in his hands and just shoots it at Go-Gun-Hee. And Go is enveloped in it. From the appearance of this panel, he's enveloped in this large ice blast. And then the Monarch says, Ah, we meet at last. And there's eyes in the smoke. And there's glowing eyes in the smoke where Go stood. And the Monarch throws another ice ball at Go with lightning speed. Go doesn't move. And Go deflects it like Goku deflected one of Frieza's death beams. Yeah. Oh my goodness, he's just like Garp! Okay, so if you're following me on Ashita scans, then it shows Gogun He just standing there. Now, mind you, his outer blazer, it's gone. He has rolled up sleeves, but he just deflected it with one hand, just looking just like Garp from One Piece. He just deflects the ice ball and sends it rocketing in another direction, like with no effort whatsoever, and he sends it outside of his window. And then the Monarch says, "The most brilliant fragment of luminosity." Oh, wait, is that him saying it? Is that... Or no, that's the Snow Monarch saying that. He's saying, we meet at last, the most brilliant fragment of luminosity. And then Goku He speaks. "You isolated my office from the outside world and trapped it in a dimensional crack. Not bad." So I was right. He did completely... He shifted both himself and Gogun He into another dimension. And then the Elf Monarch says, "I've been looking for you for a long time. To think that you were struggling to use your true power while trapped inside a broken medium. We have already found the locations of all 7 of your fragments, and we have already broken 2 of them. All I wanted was to see the embarrassment on your prideful face before I kill you. Now that I've seen it, I can destroy you without any regrets." And then Gogun He screams out, "Try it if you can, Monarch of the Frost." So, Frost Monarch. Not Snow Monarch, but Frost Monarch. That's his name from now on. "So, you're choosing to fight? How foolish. You who are merely borrowing the body of a human versus me who has completely conquered one. Do you really think you can land even a single hit on me?" And then as it shows the Frost Monarch enveloping the area in ice, and it shows the area where Go is standing, and there's like a massive crater, I guess from him exploding outwards with power. And he braces himself with and the Frost Monarch braces himself with ice magic and shoots up ice at Go. And Go leans back and headbutts the ice. This dude is Garp! This man is Garp! Gogun Garp! This is Garp! This is Garp! That is such a Garp thing to do! Don't use your hands! Just headbutt the ice! That is such a Garp thing to do! And he headbutts it, and he rockets towards the Frost Monarch. And he already bears down on him and Go tries to punch the Frost Monarch. And it looks like he may have caught Go's hand. I'm trying to see, because since there's motion blur in these panels, it's kind of tricky for me to make out the shapes of certain things. But I think he tries to shoot some ice at Go, and he did. When Go was close up on him, he tried to shoot some ice directly point blank at Go, and Go barely manages to avoid an ice spike cutting into his face. It cuts into his tie, but it just barely manages to miss his face. Then Go comes around and tries to swing at the Monarch. And then all of a sudden, Go's left arm and shoulder is enveloped in ice. Go looks at him and completely shatters it. This man is Garp. This man is Garp. He just shatters it and continues to grab towards where the Monarch is, and they're just bouncing around the room, trying to hurt one another. And Go's thinking, "I need to finish this." while I can still move. And then he launches towards the Frost Monarch. The Monarch tries to shield himself with ice, and then Go lands a hit that sends him flying backwards. Like, the Monarch coats himself in ice and like a little bit of a wide frost shield, ice shield in front of him. But Go hits it and still sends him flying back. Then Go kneels down. He kneels down and hits the ground. And then he says, "Is this my limit?" Then we got the Monarch here saying, "It seems you've reached the limit of your medium. How pitiful fragment of luminosity." And then the Frost Monarch is gone, like literally flash steps, and he's right in front of Go. Bruh, and stabs Go-Gun-He through the chest. Like with a big, massive blade of ice, just impales him. Instantly. How much time do you think it will take for you to find a new medium, I wonder? 1 year? 2 years? Unfortunately for you, our forces have already gathered. This world will be destroyed before you return. Your mistake was trying to protect this world. Did you really think you could defeat me without your guards? And then Go starts laughing as he grabs the blade, as he grabs the arm that the Frost Monarch is using to impale Go-Gun-He with. And he starts laughing. And then Go says, "Do you really think I fought against you for no reason? Just like we weren't able to predict that you would follow our footsteps, there's something important you missed as well." Now, mind you, this isn't completely Go-Gun-He's voice because his entire speech bubble is different. So whatever fragment of the ruler that's speaking through him, that's what's speaking through him right now. Even though I'm using Go-Gun-He's voice, whatever is in him that's giving him this power, that is what's speaking right now. That's what's been speaking this entire fight ever since Go-Gun-He activated that power. Pardon me. Just like we weren't able to predict that you would follow our footsteps, there's something important you missed as well. Something I missed. And then it shows more power starting to envelop Go-Gun-He now. And then there's an explosion off to his side. Did Go do that? What did Go do? Go just sent a blast into a nearby wall. And this surprises the Frost Monarch. What happened? What did he do? What did the ruler do? Darn, you almost had me. Don't tell me this was that important thing you were talking about. That's right. And whatever Go did, it cracked the dimensional wall that the Frost Monarch shifted them into and cracked it open. Huh? Just for this. I doubt anything would change even if it were to work. Now. And... oh, snap! Yo! Oh! He's got... oh! 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 Okay. Yo! He broke open the dimensional wall so he could have one of Jin's shadows that's attached to him go out and warn Jin. Hold on, he had like a spider shadow in him, and it goes flying out of the window. And then okay, let's get back to it. I'm out of my chair. I'm out of my chair. You know what that means. Then Frost Monarch says, "A resident of the Abyss, but what could a single soldier from the Abyss do against?" And then it's gone. It jumps out of the window and then it's just poof, gone. An after image? Don't tell me. And then the Frost Monarch starts going after where the ant is, and he starts trying to chase it, and he forms like a ice spear in his hands, and no, it's not a spear, that is a giant scythe. He forms a giant scythe. Wow, we need this solo leveling video game right now. He forms a giant scythe in his hands. I'm sorry if I've been leaning forward this whole time. It's just that literally been on the edge of my seat. Once again, apologies for that. But he forms a giant scythe in his hands and tries to bear down on the ant, and he slashes at it. And it has enough power to literally cut apart a whole tree directly in front of him. And then the Frost Monarch is surprised with little beads of sweat on him, and he says, "You're..." Ow! Yo! Yo! Okay! 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 It's your boy! Exchange! Your boy! Jin is back in Korea! Wait, I think he was already in Korea already, but he just exchanged with that ant and caught the scythe from the Frost Monarch! Woo! And Jin is just standing there, just holding the scythe in his hands like Ichigo caught Aizen's sword all the way back at the battle for Karakura Town. He's just standing there looking at him. And then he grabs him by the neck. And then pulls him forward and says, "Who the heck are you? An ice elf?" And that's the end of chapter 150. Jin is there. Yo, okay. Not only did we have like a pretty cool battle between Gogun-Hee and the Frost Monarch, but now Jin is there. Oh boy. Okay, now let me see what you guys have been saying this whole time. Let me see what you guys have been saying. Because I'm pretty sure I got some new people here who are not quite used to the way I react to these. So let me see all these people that came in. Daniel, Cohagen, Destruct, Matthew, Hagrid, Johnny, Shonen Sensei, Jeremy, Wolflord. Am I okay? Oh, this is how I always act when it comes to this. It has to take something serious for chapters to get me out of my seat. So when they do get me out of my seat, I just revel in it, If this is your first time here, this is kind of how I behave when it comes to me reacting to these different chapters of different series that I read through on this channel. So I hope that didn't scare you or anything. It's just that I just massively enjoy myself with this. But to everyone else, what a chapter! Oh my goodness, I'm not going to keep you guys long. How long have I been going for? It's only been 19 minutes. So I'm not going to keep you too long. Gotta go to work, just drop by to say hi. Alright, Shonen, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. Just happy to have you here. Hope you enjoyed yourself. That's all that matters to me. But man, they made Gogun-Hee they turned Gogun-Hee straight into Garp. Now, mind you, I had massive Garp vibes from him the moment I saw him. The very first time I seen him in the first chapter he was introduced. But I didn't realize that they were going to make him so close to Garp in ways that he just behaved, like his mannerisms. Now, here's the thing. He's not like super happy-go-lucky like Garp is, but he has that air about him just a little bit. But when he fights, that is just straight up Garp from One Piece. That is just Garp all the way through. You got this person, and even though Gogun-Hee himself is like really, he's really in a bad state right now. I mean, he's kind of been impaled straight through the chest. So we're gonna have to see what happens to him in the next couple of chapters, I guess. If you know, like I said, don't say anything, because I don't want to know. You're not doing me any favors if you tell me, oh, this is gonna happen to him or that's gonna happen to him. I don't want that. Please don't. But what matters here is that Jin is there. Jin is there, and he's about to face off against a Monarch. When was the last time he's faced off against someone of similar power? That was Andre. Andre was using a power of a ruler to fight Jin, and Jin just straight bodied him. Now we got Jin face to face with one of the monarchs that we first got introduced to. Because here's the thing. When we first got introduced to the monarchs coming into the real world, we saw the Frost Monarch, and we saw the, like, Beastman Monarch. Then we saw, like, this one type of monarch and some other ones that were there when they killed Christopher Reed. But with the Frost Monarch there, he was one of the first people that we saw there. And we at some point knew, like, when we learned that what Jin has, the power that he has, he's technically not supposed to have this power, the power of the Shadow Monarch, and not only but the Dark Heart as well, and being completely detached from the whole system, because after taking out the Architect, Jin can basically do whatever he wants now. He's no longer limited by the daily quest things or anything like that. We have yet to see anything like that for quite some time now. When you think about it, we really haven't seen any more level up stats for Jin at that as of late. Then again, we haven't really seen him go into a dungeon to see any more stats. So he's really just been in the real world this whole time, just dealing with real world problems. But now we have let me get back to it. Chapter 150 is out. Yes, it is, Ray Chaser. It is on ashidascans.com/solo leveling. Actually, let me go ahead and link that into the description so you can read it as well. Just in case you do not know, this is where I read it from. Let me copy this into chat for you so you can just go straight there. Apparently, Go was aware that he had a shadow. That's not surprising to me, given the fact that it looked like he had power. Given the fact that he looked like he had the power of the rulers, it wouldn't be too far-fetched for Go Gun-hee to be perceptive enough to know that Jin put a shadow under him. So, for him to do that, either Go Gun-hee knew it, or the power inside of him, like the ruler's power inside of him, told him that as well. And that's why he did what he did, in order for that ant to go out, so it can go outside, so we can exchange with Jin, so Jin could come and save Go. Or at least, fight this new Frost Monarch. But going back to what I said, we knew at some point that Jin was going to have to come face to face with one of these monarchs who are out there doing God knows what. And we knew that at some point, like, going even further back to what I said so I can keep it succinct, Jin is not supposed to have the power of the Shadow Monarch. Even less so supposed to have the power of the Dark Heart and still have his mind intact. Because if you remember, way back when, the Architect implanted those memories of the previous monarch into his head in the hopes that he would become the new monarch and then just proceed as the last monarch did. Completely under submission. But Jin beat that. And now he has the power that he's technically not supposed to have, on top of keeping his whole mind together. And that makes him an anomaly among all monarchs. That pretty much makes him an enemy to both sides, both of the monarchs and the rulers. Because of that, the Shadow Monarch, even the Shadow Monarch himself, is seen as a traitor due to Jin now having his power, the previous one. So at some point, we knew we were going to come to the moment where Jin would have to face off against one of these monarchs. Though it doesn't appear that Jin knows that this is one of the monarchs, though. Because he's looking at him like, what the heck are you? A snow elf or something? So at some point, when this Frost Monarch starts speaking to Jin and things start to get expanded upon, then I feel like we're going to be getting our big Jin versus Monarch fight. Because the last Monarch he interacted with was Legia, I believe. Legia the Giant. And then after that, he interacted with someone who served under the Dragon Monarch, who was Kamish. But Jin hasn't really gone face to face with an official Monarch yet. And I believe this is the moment where that is going to happen. Let me see what you guys are saying in chat, just so I don't ignore you all. I wish he could have transformed like Andre. Here's the thing. I'm actually glad that he didn't transform. I'm actually glad, because here's the thing. When you saw his glowing eyes, I thought he was going to transform just like Andre, and I was thinking, okay, so is this the main power of the rulers, that you get monster strength and then you just transform? But I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad Chugong didn't go the route of making Go-Gun-He do the exact same thing that Andre did, just don ruler-type armor and then just fight the Frost Monarch. Go-Gun-He faced off against this Monarch with nothing but strength. He didn't put on no additional armor. He just faced him with his own strength. So I'm actually glad Jin has already defeated 2 Monarchs, I think. Baron and Giant One. Oh, crap! I forgot about Baron! I forgot about Baron. It's been so long since it's been so long since the Demon Clan story. It's been so long since the Demon Clan chapters. And then I forgot the other girl, Ellie something? Eliza something? I forgot what the demon girl's name was that was accompanying Jin when he was in the Demon Tower. But I forgot about Baron. I completely forgot that Baron was a part of the group as well. And then he killed Legia, so Jin has technically killed 2 Monarchs, one of which he had a full-on fight with. So now this will probably be his 3rd encounter with a Monarch going forward. Where do I think the story is going to go from here? I believe there's going to be some more exposition dropped, but then we're going to get Jin versus the Monarch himself. Really hope that since that Frost Monarch jumped out of the building, sorry, got to put some WD-40 on this chair, but since Go has managed to cause the Frost Monarch to jump out the window, I wonder if that completely negates him, dimension shifting his office, which at that point, I hope that at some point, people actually come to Go-Gun-He's aid a little bit. I don't know where the story is going to go from here. Interesting thing that the Frost Monarch said that he conquered a body of a human. You think that the rulers and monarchs got to use a human vessel of some sort to use their powers? I believe so. Because if you think about it, Andre is basically a vessel for the ruler that's in him a little bit. And he just lets Andre use his power in that way. I don't know the full specifics. I could be completely wrong and going off of left field. But I feel the way the Shadow Monarch works with Jin and his power works through Jin, like it has their powers need to have a vessel. So give it to humans and their powers can be used. That's what I'm thinking. Because it works that way with Jin. I'm pretty sure it works the same way with the rulers. But possibly with the rulers, it means that the rulers themselves house themselves in these human vessels, not just their power. Because during the fight with Go-Gun-He and the Frost Monarch, Go-Gun-He's speech was completely different. His speech bubble was black with white words, whereas his normal state is white with black words. So I can only assume that at that point, the ruler in him was speaking through Go-Gun-He, talking to the Frost Monarch then and there. Because every time the Frost Monarch talked to Go-Gun-He, he referred to Go-Gun-He as a medium, like the vessel that the ruler in him was using to fight him. So Hagrid, you could be entirely right with that. At least we have a name for one of the rulers. The Fragment of Luminosity. Fragment of Luminosity. Sounds like a name from an angel enemy from Bayonetta, when you think about it. But going forward, we're probably going to get ourselves another Monarch fight, an official one since Baron for Jin. And Jin barely managed to get through the fight with Baron back then, but Jin is so much more powerful than he was back at the Demon Castle. Remember when Jin was struggling to get through an S rank gate and deal with everything in the Demon Castle, making his way to Baron, and now he's at the point where he's literally final Ichigo. Radaru. Esil Radaru. Thank you, Destruct. I knew I was forgetting her name. I really did. I know it started with an E, but there it is. But remember when Jin was back at the Demon Castle, getting the ingredients in order to cure his mother from the eternal slumber, and he was just struggling because, not really struggling, but having a really, really hard time because not only was it an S-rank gate, but most of his summons would just, the amount of demons that he would go up against while he was collecting the demon souls, he'd probably be really good at that game, just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger as the more further he went up, to the point where he got to Baron. It was just like, wow, what am I going to do to beat this guy? Now, Jin is at the point where he's literally Mugetsu Ichigo levels right now. Even going as far as being close to, he's at the same level as Mugetsu Ichigo, catching the scythe in his fingertips. Not his whole hand, just catching the blade in his fingertips. Just like, dude has gotten so much stronger. If it had not been for that dark heart boost that gave him like 100,000 extra MP for him, he probably wouldn't be able to do just quite as much as he would have liked to up to this point. So him getting that massive boost from the Architect, thank you, Architect, for being a complete idiot and giving him a massive glow up. I believe that the Baron Jinwoo fought was just an NPC, not the real deal. Well, I mean, even though it wasn't the real deal, who's to say that it wasn't patterned off of his skills and stats? So you could still technically count it a little bit. But Jin has progressed so far as a character. Like, when I remember reading through chapter 0, way back when, and Jin was such a weakling. He was weak. People called him the weakest hunter. No one had much hopes for him going on hunt. He was the lowest ranked, and even his friends were all like, dude, you're getting hurt every single time you go into a dungeon. It's a good thing I'm a healer, otherwise you'd probably be dead already. Now he's gotten to the point where he is literally just breaking everyone who comes across him. This man has had progress. It's amazing. But back to this chapter as a whole, I think the real Baron was killed by Shadow Monarch. I believe so as well. NPC or not, he was more powerful than Jin. Yep, right, Kohagen. He was still more powerful than Jin. So even back then, Jin still had a hard time. But now he's gotten to the point where he's just so ridiculously powerful. But I just enjoyed this whole chapter as a whole. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for taking the time to, come out and see this whole entire reaction today. I think the real Baron was killed by Shadow Monarch Ashborn. If that's the Shadowborn's Shadowborn, if that's the Shadow Monarch's name, while I would have liked to find out his name, still a cool name. So I'll let that slide if that's a spoiler. Just this once. If that's a spoiler and the story hasn't gotten to it, Destruct, come on now. But I'll let it slide just this once. Just this once. But overall, I enjoyed this chapter as a whole. It got me out of my chair. This is a solid 9 out of 10 chapter because Jin showed up at the end. And not only that, we knew that Jin was coming the moment that ant jumped outside of the window. But overall, I enjoyed this chapter. And I'm looking forward to the next one next week. It's really, and for those wondering why I don't ever really have it set to a time where I do these live streams, because we really are at the mercy of the translation team at Ashida Scans waiting for these chapters to pop up. So it could be anywhere for as early as 11 to later into as like 12, going close to 1. So it's really kind of hard to narrow it down. So I hope that didn't bother you guys too much. But I'm not going to keep you guys any longer than I already have, because I can essentially just go on and on. But overall, this was a great chapter. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. I love doing these, and these solo leveling videos tend to, I think it was already given in the double dungeon. I think it was when it was going back to the memories of the Shadow Monarch. I think his name may have already been told to us. I think it may have been told to us when Jin was experiencing the memories. I think we already found that out. I think we already found out the name of him. It's just that we never really say it all that much. I just say Shadow Monarch the whole time. So I think it might have been told already to us. I think it might have been told to us already through Jin's memories, and I just didn't really pay attention. I'm not gonna worry about it. But I know I tend to drone on and on. I just want to say, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. You guys, words cannot express how much I enjoy doing these. These solo leveling videos tend to do so much better than anything else that I do on my channel due to the number of people that tend to show up. But I just love doing these. I love entertaining you guys, and I'm completely honored that so many of you just tune in to what I do. I really do enjoy this, and you guys are helping, you know, my goal and dream of doing this whole shebang, this whole YouTube thing full time. You guys are making it closer and closer a reality for me. So for that, I am completely and humbly thankful for you. So that's all I got. Later, peoples. I butchered my outro. Let's do that right. Because I don't think I did that correctly. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. I feel good right now. It's time to go eat.